Hey guys, welcome back to our channel, and if you're new, welcome to our channel. My name's Brianna and this is Autumn. And today's video is kind of going to be a story time of the time I went to New York in the middle of a pandemic. So I'll start by saying we live in a little town right in the middle of North Carolina. Excuse my dog. Anyways, we live in a little town in the middle of North Carolina, and in January, me and my husband were planning our anniversary trip without children like we do every year, and we decided we wanted to go to New York City. So we booked our flight, and then the coronavirus happened. It wasn't, at the time, the CDC was recommending not to wear masks, and just to, have good hygiene, stay, a certain amount of feet apart. And at the time, I think it was you could have 50 people in a group. So when we went to New York, we flew into JFK Airport, took the air train to Long Island Railroad, and then we stayed in a Best Western Plaza hotel in Queens. So, yeah. And our hotel had like this amazing breakfast that we didn't get to have because the coronavirus. Because everybody couldn't be in the breakfast area touching the same foods, so they had to cancel the breakfast. Me and my husband were pretty bummed about that. So before I went to New York, I was researching all of these tourist things, like the tourist traps and things to avoid, and everything said to take the subway. So we got a unlimited 7-day Metro card for the subway, and our hotel was like right down the road from where we could get on the subway. Subways are kind of hard to figure out, like to which one leads to where, like it's kind of difficult. Thankfully, we had our phones which had the maps and told us exactly which subways to transfer to. But there were still some times we got struggling with it, so we took Ubers to places occasionally because we could not figure out how to get there by subway. So we got to our hotel. We checked in a little early because we got there pretty early in the morning, and then we took a nap. We didn't intend to, but we took a nap. We were tired. We got up at like 4 a.m. that morning. Excuse my toddler. Anyways, so then we took an Uber to Hoboken, New Jersey, which was like 10-15 minutes from where we were at. And we went to the Cake Boss original location, which is in Hoboken. And I got a caramel lobster tail, and my husband got a cookies and cream cannoli. And so we walked down the road, and we sat in front of the Hudson River, and we ate Carla's Bakery, and it was an experience. It was exciting just to be able to say we experienced that. And while we were at Carla's Bakery, thank you. While we were at Carla's Bakery, I actually had seen a YouTuber that I watched about how to navigate New York and stuff. So it was really cool. It wasn't even technically in New York, but it was cool. And then while we were sitting at the Hudson River eating, people were wearing masks and jogging, even though the CDC recommended not wearing masks at the time. They said it would like trap the virus and just make it more susceptible to get sick. But people were running with those masks on. There's a lot of people running by the Hudson River, by the way. Like, no wonder the South is known for being fat. Everybody was running everywhere. So, but they had like the masks on. It was like, while they were running, it was kind of funny. So on the way back from Hoboken, me and my husband were waiting for a bus, and me and my husband were waiting for a bus, and we had a phone call from our kids' school saying that they would be out of school for at least 2 weeks due to the coronavirus. Everybody in New York was already doing their remote learning, so we knew it was coming. I already homeschool our oldest one, who is in 8th grade, and so homeschooling 2 more while having a toddler just sounded like a nightmare for me. So that was like the first thing that happened in New York that really had to do with the coronavirus. So that night we ordered pizza. Well, we ordered like this little New Yorker's pizza place that was 10 blocks from our hotel. We didn't rent a car because everything says not to in New York because it's a crazy city. There's no videos about how to navigate New York during a pandemic. It was pretty empty. So we walked 10 blocks to this pizza place only to find out they delivered to our hotel. So that was fun. So we sat there and we ate, and then we walked 10 blocks back to the hotel, and then the rest of the night we sat in and we watched Law and Order SVU because Mariska Hargitay is life, and I love that show. So it was also really cool to see like where they base it out of. Anytime I saw a sign that said NYPD, I would just like look at my husband and be like, NYPD! You know how they do it. Toddlers. So on day 2, we went to Central Park, I think. We had like one of those little bicycle carriage ride things through Central Park. It had like 3 stops where we could get off and take pictures, and it was like showing us all the locations. It was showing us all the locations, like where SVU finds all the dead bodies, and the Friends theme song where they do the water fountain. And they showed us all these other kinds of really cool things. So it was really nice. It was relaxing. We didn't have to walk because it was forever long. And then after that, we walked down the road to the Trump Towers. We just wanted to experience it, and our daughter wanted us to go and take pictures. So we went inside, and everything was like golden, and it was really cool. You had to go through a metal detector security thing to get in. And yeah, so it was just really cool just to be able to say we went in there. So we went to Times Square. We got there early in the morning, and it was completely empty. Like, we could have rented a car and drove straight through Times Square. So, you know, it was good for me because I don't like big crowds. But we went shopping. We went to the Hershey store and got the best hot chocolate ever. We went to, like, the Disney store, and we just went shopping. We just went shopping in Times Square, so that was really fun. And we got to see the ball that drops on New Year's. It's like this big. I would not stand there and pee myself for 15 hours to watch that. No way, wouldn't happen. But now that dream's crushed because I always wanted to do that. My dream's crushed now. Thank you, New York City. So the CDC was recommending to wear gloves, but nowhere sold any because they were all sold out. So luckily at a little shop in Times Square, we found hand sanitizer and baby wipes. So we used the baby wipes on the subway to like wrap around the poles so we didn't have to touch anything, and like on the stairways and stuff. And obviously we hand sanitized every single time we left anywhere or went around anybody or touched anything. And we didn't touch our faces, nothing like that. So yeah, so that was nice. People kept asking why we didn't cancel our trip. We had spent like over $1,000 non-refundable on this trip, and I was not about to waste that. So, and this was before everything got shut down. So like hairstylists and all that was still open at the time. So we weren't aware of the severity of the virus at the time. On the last day, we were going to take the Staten Island ferry to see the Statue of Liberty. But the Staten Island was closed down. You could only go there if you worked there. So nobody was allowed to take the Staten Island ferry unless you worked on Staten Island. So we had to take a taxi cruise thing. Our one was actually the very last one because of the coronavirus. They thought it was too unsafe. But we did get right up close on the Statue of Liberty. We didn't get to go in it because it was closed, obviously. So we got to get really close to it and experience that. The 9/11 memorial was closed. We got to see that from the Hudson River. The Empire State Building was closed. We got to see that from the Hudson River. So, I mean, it would have been really cool to go in them, but it was just really cool to be there and get to see all of that. The people on the cruise line normally takes pictures with your phone for you in front of the Statue of Liberty, but because of the coronavirus, they wouldn't. So we kind of had to take our own pictures, and the people said they would take it on theirs and like Bluetooth it to our phones if we wanted them to. But nobody was allowed to touch anybody else's phones and things like that. So, yeah. And then while we were there, they also said that you were no longer allowed to eat in restaurants. They made that decision while we were there. Like, the first day, we ate in a pizza place. And then the next day, we weren't allowed to go in anywhere to eat. You had to take it to go. So, like, on the way home from the airport, we were at the airport and we were eating, and we had to order our food and then go sit in our gate and eat because they didn't allow you to sit at the restaurants and eat in the, I also forgot to add that there are no bathrooms in New York. Like, if you find a Starbucks that lets you use it, there's Starbucks everywhere, but that has open bathrooms, I would say go for it. But what do you do when you're in the middle of a pandemic and you can't go in restaurants and get your food and you can't use their bathrooms because their bathrooms are closed? You pee yourself. I'm just kidding. But yeah, you just have to, you know, try to find somewhere that'll let you use their bathroom because you're walking a lot and not a whole lot of bathrooms. So let's just recap. I'm not a selfish son of a you-know-what who decided to go to New York in the middle of a pandemic after the state was shut down. That wasn't how it went, okay? I booked the trip in January, and nothing was closed down except the schools. You could still go get your hair cut. You could still go do everything. You could eat inside everywhere until I got there. Then they closed everything down, and the whole city came to a screeching halt. But it was still really fun. There's no videos that tell you how to navigate New York during a pandemic. Probably shouldn't have took the subway, you know, all the germs and stuff. But here we are in May, and I went in March, and we did not get the coronavirus. So now I did stay inside, you know, and like pretty much self-quarantine for, you know, however many, like 14 days after we came back, but still. So I would really like to go back to New York one day, maybe take my kids when everything's open, because I really want to see the 9/11 memorial, and I really want to take my kids because none of them obviously were alive at the time that happened, so they've just learned about it in school, and I think it would be like really cool for them to see. And I really wanted to go to like a rooftop bar and stuff, but all that got shut down while we were there. So we didn't get to go do any of that. We got to do the main things we wanted to do, which was like Central Park, Times Square, stuff like that. And it was really empty and quiet. So it was really nice. My kid just got in an argument with the cat.
I'm going to do.
Sorry guys, she fell. Ignore her crooked pigtails. She doesn't really sit down well for me to do her hair. But so
I'll sit down.
yeah, and she's dirty because she's been eating Cheetos, and she's drinking the last sip of drink from her sister's room. But so looking back, I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't not go. It was so fun, and it's something I've always wanted to do since I was younger. So I got to do, you know, things that I've always wanted to do. So yeah, it was really fun, and like I said, nobody makes videos about how to navigate New York during a pandemic, so I kind of was just winging it.
Pencils.
Ow!
I need pencils.
You need pencils?
Yeah.
Oh. Say bye, everybody.
Bye, bye.
Say thanks for watching our channel.
Thank you. Thank you.